Hello and welcome to another video on the Restart Test channel. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about UI tests and UI coverage. By the end of this video, I will show you a really awesome tool from the Cypress community, or from Cypress to be more exact, that will help you master your UI coverage. But first things first, what is UI testing? Why do we do UI testing? Well, UI testing, to put it in simple terms, is checking the user interface from a user perspective. You click buttons, you make sure that the flow in the application works, like you have a look at all of the navigation, all of the links. It is essential to check this as often as possible in order to make sure that a normal user can use your application without any hiccups. Now imagine a scenario like this. You have a production site and you're expecting here to have a button, but the button is not there. That's really bad. You should have spotted that by doing UI testing. Or you have the button right here and you click it and nothing happens. No error message, no nothing. It is so sort of like the UI is not reacting. Now, if you have done UI testing, or if you had known that you didn't test this button, then you could have foreseen this issue. But before I show you the tool that I want to show you, let's talk about the main benefits of doing UI testing. On the one hand, you get to detect user bugs really early. I mean, by this I mean you get to detect bugs which the user can see in the UI really early. You're improving the user experience, or you're checking that the user has an improved experience. And last but definitely not least, since UI tests are kind of the first step in doing test automation, because you're checking UI with different UI checking tools, Cypress for example, then you're improving or you're growing your automated regression suite. Now you have benefits, but there are also challenges to it. UI tests are the slowest tests that you might have, because you need to open a browser, you need to interact, so you need to wait until everything loads on the page, wait for different elements. So it takes definitely time. These tests can be fragile. I'm pretty sure everybody on this channel, or everybody who ever did any test automation, knows tests can be fragile, they can be flaky. Also, you might have false positive results. For some reason, um, a test passes, but it should have failed, and you need to have a look and see it. Now, the tool which I'm going to show you doesn't fix all of these challenges, but it does answer one of the most important questions which I have got in my career. The question is, what was tested? So if your manager comes and says, how much of the UI elements have you tested? You might be shocked and say, I don't know, 10%, 50%, 15%. With the tool, which I'm going to show you from Cypress, you can answer that in a few seconds or minutes, depending on how big your regression suite is, just after running your Cypress tests. Did I make you curious? So the part or the tool that I'm going to show you is called UI coverage by Cypress, and we're going to dive deep and see how it looks and how you can play around with it. So let's have a look. So first things first, in order to have the UI coverage, you need to use Cypress Cloud. I'm not going to go through how to set up, how to use Cypress Cloud. I just ran right now, as you see 6 minutes ago, a couple of tests where I want to see if I have UI coverage. And on the line here, you can already see something different. I mean, you see the skipped, the pending tests, yeah, 100 tests. I stopped those. And you have here UI coverage. That means I only tested like 13% from, or at least according to Cypress, 13% from the UI in my tests. And I just want to go in, and besides the normal part where I see the duration, where I see the general information regarding my specs, I have here UI coverage. Now I want to go in and see I have 13%. And it's going to take some time. I mean, if you would have 100 tests here. It will take some time to load, but I only have a few to demonstrate this. And how is it structured? It has some default structure where it has, on the one hand, you have views, you have the untested parts, the tested parts, and you can go in and see which elements according to the code you tested and which elements according to Cypress and the code you did not test. Now, what I would recommend is you should go one by one on these views, because as you can see, I have a couple of URLs here and I want to check per URL. So if I go to this one right here, it will show me everything that I tested. So if I navigate, I have untested and tested elements. Now, if I hover over the element, I see I have two interactions, and I see also the element that is being found according to this selector. I also see elements which, from a Cypress perspective, should be tested. These are links, so would be good to make sure that all of these links are there, that all of these links work. Now you might say, okay, this is interesting, and I can go, I have different snapshots here. So depending on the test that I have different instances of that test. Now, what I'm saying is, you might say, okay, you have here untested links or tested links, but who says, who determines why is it 13%? So before I tell you how or who, there's also, from Cypress perspective, a submit feedback. If you have it on your Cypress Cloud, please go ahead and submit the feedback. If you don't have it, please submit the feedback here on the channel in the comments, and I will make sure that the people at Cypress get it. So if you want to see how the UI coverage works, there's a nice page provided by the Cypress team where it shows you, okay, what is UI coverage, how does it work, how to use it, and you have some important concepts here. As you can see, it explains all of the elements that we had there. We had the views, we had the element identification, so it goes per the Cypress recommendation, Cypress data selectors, and then goes ID, name, and so forth. But there's also a part which, for those of you who want to make this really interesting, you can go and change it. You have configuration, and it has an explanation. Okay, each part, what does it mean, what you can configure, and I have one prepared already. And by the one that I had prepared, I just need to go to the project setting, quality, and in here I can provide in this JSON editor a config that will show you that will make the results that I get from the UI coverage a little bit different. And as you can see, there's here again a link to the actual UI coverage, to the configuration. So I'm just going to copy and paste the config in case you don't have it, in case you have validation or formatting, Cypress will react. Now, in order to see these changes, I will need to run everything again. So let me just do that. So it's now done, and of course I still have 13%. However, when I go in and have a look at the UI coverage, I will see a little bit different. I'll have a different view because I changed what I want to see. So the elements right here are different. So the number of untested, tested links and elements. But you can, as I said, customize it to your liking. You can make sure that you have more than 13% by using the power of UI coverage. So you just make a test where you check all of these links right here, and then it will go up, up, up. And now that you've seen Cypress UI coverage, why don't you try it yourself? You can ask for a free trial. If you already have your cloud account, you can submit request also via this form, which I'm going to link in the description. Give it a go and write in the comments what you thought about it, what you would improve, what you would change, what you wouldn't change, what you liked. And as always, do not forget to rest, then test, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one and bye bye.